Okay, you're live.
Good evening, everybody. This is Dominic Palmer, the Superintendent of the Merrick School District. It is November 10th, 2020. This is our Board of Education meeting. We are participating with, most of the board meeting members are in the room with me, and Mr. Yamali is on the Zoom, as well as our administrative team. The meeting is being simulcast on our YouTube channel.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Let's rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to our November meeting, everyone. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Education meeting from October 6th? Motion, Jill. Is there a second? Second. Second, Nicole. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report? Motion, Segal. Second, Butch. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion to approve the claims audit report of September 2020. Motion, Linda. Second, Segal. All in favor? Aye. Motion to approve statement of paid claims from October 2020. Motion, Gina. Second, Nicole. All in favor? Aye. Okay. That brings us to the capital project report, our James Bond report. Jim, I'll turn it over to you.
Good evening, everybody. This is my bond report for November of 2020. The site work at both Birch School and Lakeside School is in the punch list phase. Both site contractors were informed they needed to clean the existing catch basins. At Lakeside, the district has also contacted an additional contractor to provide an estimate for the center island walkway. The exterior light poles at Lakeside have been installed and are operating. The punch list for the bathroom renovation and unit ventilator air conditioning project are reaching completion. The contractors have been working to reduce the list to 0 entries. I constantly check the building management system, which controls the heating and air conditioning for proper operation of the classroom units, ventilators, and split air conditioner units, and report concerns or issues to the contractor. Arrow Window is still awaiting the delivery of windows for the Lakeside Gym to replace non-operating fixed windows with operating windows. Chatterton Emergency Escape casement windows to replace the large double-hung emergency escape windows, and replacement windows and panels above the windows in the administration building to eliminate water infiltration. Unfortunately, the owner of Arrow Window is unable to update the delivery timeline. He mentioned COVID impacting the manufacturing plant as well as shipping. That concludes my report for November of 2020, and I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Jim. Same to you. As always, thanks for all you're doing, and thanks to the staff as well for keeping us as safe as we could possibly be. Thank you.
I also just want to add on to Jim's report. We've met with the architectural firm, with BBS, and with SCC about restarting the plans for the phase of work that we put off last summer. We had postponed the final work at Birch and Lakeside, the interior casement work, and a few other odds and ends. So we have met with them. We have restarted the conversation. It is our plan to get that out for bids again as soon as the new year comes in, with the hope that next summer is going to be a good time to do construction again and finish up the capital projects. The other piece, the fortunate piece about this, I guess, is that because we put off the renovations of 2 of the nurses' offices, we have been able to get the architect and the engineer back in to look at some changes we might want to make to those 2 buildings and to potentially Chatterton to reflect the needs of the pandemic, such as a quarantine room with differentiated. So we're going to have that in the process. So it's fortunate in some ways that we had that pause and we can do it. And with any luck, we'll do well this summer and get everything done.
That's great. Thank you. That brings us to good and welfare. Congratulations to Joanne Yankaris, typist clerk at Lakeside School, on the birth of her granddaughter, Lily Claire. Condolences to Stephanie Lorelli, occupational therapist at Lakeside School, on the passing of her mom, Maria Canelon. Condolences to Kathy Filippi, teacher aide at Lakeside School, on the passing of her father-in-law, Joseph Filippi. Condolences to Cindy Crociata, teaching assistant at Chatterton School, on the passing of her father, Irving Perlman. And condolences to Nicole Crociata, daily building substitute teacher at Chatterton, on the passing of her grandfather, Irving Perlman. That brings us to hearing of visitors on items in the superintendent's report. I did receive an email, so I want to go ahead and read it. It's from Diane Seaman. Joe Backus, the executive board, and I wish Leslie Goldstein health and happiness on her retirement. We thank her for her 16 years she worked as a teaching assistant at the Levy Lakeside School, teaching students, helping teachers, and modeling the role of a teaching assistant. Leslie was a superb union building representative for the teaching assistants, aides, and hall monitors unit for approximately 10 years. She worked tirelessly for all of the members, and she will be sorely missed. And the board echoes the sentiments and wishes Leslie a wonderful retirement. That brings us to the superintendent's report. You want to talk first?
Yeah, I just want to make a couple comments on the superintendent's report. First of all, as you just heard, Leslie Goldstein, one of our senior teaching assistants, has retired. She will be missed. I also want to point out that I was remiss at the October meeting because Marilyn Abramowitz, another one of our senior teaching assistants, was on that agenda for retirement, as was Pete Lehman, who was our maintenance worker who fixed everything imaginable. Pete has retired, so that was on the October agenda. And then two other items that are on the superintendent's report agenda is I'd like to thank Mecca for a donation of portable microphones. One of the downsides about wearing a mask, especially if you're a teacher and you don't have a unending booming voice like I do, is that it's hard to project past your mask. So we had purchased some portable microphones for our staff, and then Mecca was kind enough to donate a large number beyond that, so that as many of our staff who want it, the teaching staff, can have those. So we've got that. That was one donation. And the second donation, thank you, Jill. The Forever 9 Foundation donated 2 AEDs for Chatterton to accommodate our new wing. So it's very nice that we've got some great donations from our community organizations.
Very much appreciated, for sure. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve items 10A 1 through 38, the personnel report? Motion, Gina, second, Segal, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve items B 1 through 6?
Motion.
Motion, Segal, second, Jill, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve items D 1 through 4 and E 1 through 7? Motion,
Second.
Nicole, second, Butch, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That brings us to our second hearing of visitors. We do have 2 visitors with us.
Okay, so Mr. Anderson and Mr. Keller, we're gonna turn on your mics, turn on your cameras. We'll make sure you're on and working, and then we'll ask you, then Dr. Kaplan will pick one of you to start to make the first statement.
Dave, I think your camera is on, so we'll start with you. If you could just state your name and address, please, for our district clerk.
Sure. Let me just fix this. So, hi, my name is Dave Keller. I'm a resident of Charles Street here in Merrick. So today, there's a couple of things I do want to review. So I do see that you guys made some adjustments to the gates throughout the day, which is actually bringing the street back to normal at those times. I do still have concerns. I still do have concerns with the gate in the morning and the afternoon. So here's the couple of the issues. So in the morning, there is a line of traffic for a period of time. So not only myself, but my neighbors, as well as my kids who go to school, have to change their structure or timing to get to their event, either earlier or we have to go later. So we still have to make changes throughout the day, or I should say in the morning and the afternoon, to make those considerations. In the same time, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I said in the beginning that our streets are not designed for this type of traffic. So if you notice that there are 4 major potholes on Charles Street at this point, where they were not there a month ago. So again, the amount of traffic is hurting the streets itself, which is hurting the neighbors, their cars, their property, and something needs to be done. I know the town of Hempstead said they're going to look at this, but that's still 2 years down the road. So if this is happening within a month, I expect within a couple of weeks from now that the street will probably not be able to be used at that point because of all the potholes that are there. Now, I'm not even talking about the issues that are happening on school property that I do see as a major issue, but you guys have to understand that you had one problem and now you created 2 problems without fixing the first problem and not fixing the second problem. I still think there's better solutions that could be done, and I would like to know if you guys are going to be addressing some of those issues in the future or in the near future by changing some of the structures in the front that'll actually take care of not only Charles Street, but will also take care of Babylon as well. A couple of other issues that I do have is the security guard is still not stopping people from coming outside that gate. So people are still going in and going back out the same gate when there is a huge sign on both sides that say do not enter, but I guess no one can read, or the security guard is not doing their job by keeping people out. Another issue is last week there was actually a gas leak that you guys had. And the only way I found out is when I heard the fire trucks. And then when I opened up the windows, I could smell that gas. You know, I do understand that you guys have a business to run or a school to run, but we have our lives to take care of over here. And it really is not fair that we're not notified of changes to the streets and then not notified that there's gas leaks that happen on there. So I think the communication with the neighbors is extremely poor, and that really needs to be addressed and fixed as soon as possible. I still do think that we need a crossing guard or somebody on Charles Street, because I can tell you that, especially when it rains, last week there was a couple of raining, one incident where a kid, I'm talking within inches, which was going to be smashed within inches if their parent didn't actually grab them by the hair and pull them back. So I think that is another issue. The other issue is the parents around here don't have any consideration. I had one parent actually park in front of my driveway, get out of the car and walk the kid to school and came back 5 minutes later. So that kind of respect needs to be changed and needs to be addressed. So with that being said, I think there are a lot of issues that are still there. Again, I really do think by addressing the main issue, which was dealing with the Babylon Turnpike, dealing with that issue, which should have been done internally and not open up Charles Street to create just another problem that still needs to be fixed. So with that being said, I would like to see someone address the issue on both streets at this point, not just dealing with Babylon or Charles Street at this point. Tim?
Yeah, Dave, we appreciate all of the feedback, and, you know, Dr. Palmer was taking notes on, you know, some of the things that you brought up that we need to, you know, definitely address. The board is not looking to revisit the flow onto campus right now with the pandemic of traffic. We will, you know, look again at the end of the year and see where we are, but we definitely appreciate the feedback, so thank you. Mr. Anderson.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to speak. I've kind of prepared a little statement. I don't do freehand very well. During the September and October Board of Education meetings, it was implied that Councilman Carini supported Charles Street opening up as a secondary entrance. My conversations with him say he does not. After many long conversations with Councilman Carini, he told me that he believes that what you are doing is unsafe, and he gave you suggestions to make it safer. But because you did things to make it safer doesn't mean that you're doing things that are safe. The councilman has told me on more than one occasion that it was within his legal authority, he would shut you down, but it is not within his legal authority. The councilman, his attorney confirmed to me that Charles Street is a dead-end street and that it is a legal dead-end street. The gate, I've been told, is supposed to be opened at 7 a.m. However, most mornings it's open way before then. Almost daily, a maroon minivan speeds past Charles Street through the gate at about 7 a.m. I'm not sure who that is, but if it's somebody employed at the school, could you please ask them to slow down? It's very fast. The traffic that I've seen over the last month, I think, has increased since past months. It's kind of clear to me that not only 2 grades that we were told in the beginning of this was going to be using the street as an entrance, more than 2 grades are using our street as a drop off and pick up now. It's very clear to me. Signs and safety measures that were supposed to be put in place have not been done. Dead end street that was on our sign that was on the dead end is no longer there. I did ask in a previous email for that to be placed back. It hasn't. Crosswalks are not in place. School zone signs that were supposed to be arranged aren't done. It's just another month where simple safety measures that could have been done before opening the gates should have been done, have not been implemented. During drop off and pickup on our street, it is complete chaos. For granted, not a long period of time, but complete chaos. Parents use our driveways as turnarounds. People park in front of, like Dave said, park in front of our driveways, get out of the car, drop their kids off, come back 10 minutes later. There's a significant amount of littering that's going on as far as the street is concerned as well, not to mention the damage to the street. Minibuses have started coming down the street and entering into the school through Charles Street, not through Babylon. I've noticed the number of minibuses coming through our street. The sign on the fences are facing the school. I don't see any, maybe that I'm wrong, but there's no signage facing Charles Street, letting the parents know directionality of that entrance. The only signs I see are facing the school. Really, cars entering through Charles Street in a one-way direction, leaving through Babylon, I don't see how that is helping decrease the traffic on Babylon, which was the ultimate goal you guys set for opening up the Charles Street entrance. They're still coming in Charles, but they're still leaving Babylon. The big bottleneck in Babylon is the traffic light. And issues on Babylon should not be put on Charles Street residents. People have bought their homes on Babylon knowing that it was an entrance to the school. People bought homes in Charles Street. It was a dead end. It's been a dead end for 50 years. A woman at the end of the block here lived here for 55 years, has never seen traffic through that gate. Dave has sent you many YouTube videos of people with incidents, questionable car versus car versus pedestrian type incidents. So far, nothing's ended up anybody seriously hurt, but there have been a lot of interactions between children and vehicles. It seems like a daily occurrence. I still do have concerns that this gate is a bottleneck. It's not as open as Babylon is. It's a gate. Everybody has to go through one bottleneck, and that at some point a car and a child are going to collide and somebody's going to get hurt. I really think you guys need to reconsider the benefits you're getting out of having this gate open versus the potential really bad consequences that could happen and risk of somebody getting hurt. That's my statement.
Thank
Can
you.
I-
No,
can I
we thank
say-
you. We thank you for coming tonight and sharing, you know, your perspectives and feelings regarding the situation. We definitely appreciate, you know, the safety concerns that you raised. And again, Dr. Palmer was taking notes, and there are things that, you know, we have to address and will address. As I said, you know, this is a very different year. With the pandemic, more people than ever are driving their children to school. So we're not going to revisit anything for this year, but we will continue to work as best as we can to alleviate some of the concerns. So I thank you both for coming again. That brings us to reports of Belmore Merrick Central High School District Board members.
And that would be us. So, as many of you know and have heard, it is with bittersweet announcement that I have to announce the retirement of our superintendent, John P. Tomaso.
What is,
He has been instrumental in
someone wants to,
leading our district for the past 8 years. Great
Merit, Dr. Kate.
and he was going to be thoroughly missed. On the same night that he announced his retirement, the Board of Education was prepared to appoint Michael Harrington, who is the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum. Because as I made in the statement of the night of the board meeting, although it was a surprise to everybody else, the board was aware for quite some time that John was planning on retiring. So, you know, we're very fortunate that he has been instrumental in everything in the district. He knows every aspect of it. I'm speaking of Michael Harrington. So it was with great confidence that we appointed Michael Harrington to the position of superintendent starting on July 1st, 2021. That said, we had a board meeting last week, and so just for some numbers that we have, our school district as of last week had 83% full in, 10% of the students were remote, and 7% were hybrid. And that number fluctuates and changes every day. The state of the school, which was an email that the superintendent sent out, was very well received. I just want to announce that that will continue to be happening. What else? And intramural sports, that went very well. And we were 1 out of 11 districts having intramural sports. We support winter intramural sports, and we actually support regular sports for the winter. And we are working with Section 8 this time. So they came to us before they made any announcements, whereas last time they just made an announcement. So they're working with us, and hopefully, you know, that can work out. What else is going on? Clubs are in operation. The cooking, you know, the culinary and the broadcasting is work going ahead. And so everything is moving along. We're trying to keep our schools open, and we're doing a great job of it. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can call me, Nancy, or the district. Thank you.
and just a public service announcement, you know, we've said it from the beginning, what our children are doing outside of school can impact our ability to come to school. So please continue to keep your children safe as much as you possibly can. Thank you for that. Legislation.
Same as always, it's state and federal policymakers who make decisions every day that affect our schools. So support the additional funding to the states for K-12 public education. Schools have always been the hubs of their community. And now more than ever, they're providing many services day by day. So please reach out to your legislators. Some have just been re-elected or newly elected, and make sure they know how you feel about federal funding for our schools.
Thank you.
That's important.
Reports of board members.
Well, I got something. The Merrick Kiwanis is holding a food drive to benefit the community cupboard. The community cupboard, serves the families in need in Belmore and Merrick. Because of COVID, we're kind of limited where we can have, where and when we could have food drives. But it'll be at Food Town on Merrick Avenue this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2, and next week on Saturday, the 21st, from 10 to 2. So, Food Town on Merrick
That
Avenue,
little
we couldn't,
store on Merrick Avenue.
it's right in,
Swirls?
yeah,
Yes.
I think it's right next door there. So we couldn't get in
Mhm.
anywhere else, that's market
Great,
closed,
thank you.
and, yeah, so come down, canned goods, Thanksgiving dinner,
No,
non-perishables.
Great. Thank you.
thank you, Nicole.
Any other reports of board members? I just want to acknowledge, Chatterton, Jessica Mack, and Lucas Guber for leading the effort, for the Field of Honor, honoring our veterans. It was really, a beautiful celebration of our veterans, and so I want to acknowledge that, so.
Also in terms of,
Take a minute to thank all that have served our country.
Absolutely.
also in terms of Veterans Day, both Birch and Lakeside did a video program where they asked people to make videos, in response. And just funny timing, I happened to walk into the, Lakeside past the kindergarten class, and some kid in a mask, who I couldn't understand at first, goes, and then I was like, what? And he said, I just saw you on TV. So they literally had just finished playing the videos and including me, and he saw it, and he recognized me in a mask, which is kind of amazing, because I did not record it in a mask. And it was one of our little kindergartners who, it's not like one of the older kids, a lot of them would still recognize me in the mask, but there was a kid who probably saw me for the first time then. But the video, project was a fantastic project as well. I have a couple, new business items and I have one old business item.
Can I go back for a second?
Absolutely, go ahead.
So just received a comment, so I just want to share it. Hi, I use the Charles Street entrance every morning and afternoon. It has been an incredible alternative to Babylon Road. I completely understand residents being upset. However, the country is dealing with a pandemic, so even very basic things have had to change. Gates that haven't opened in 50 years needed to be opened. The gate isn't new. We have all had adjust our morning, afternoon, evening timing to get to where we need to go on time. The entrance isn't going to alleviate traffic on Babylon, as the number of parents driving their children has grown exponentially. From Shari Gish. So we'll enter that into the record as well. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. So I want to cover two items in new business. First of all, the governor's office announced a new version of the travel quarantine, which was then followed up by guidance from the New York State Health Department. To simplify the component of this is, if you travel out of New York State to any place but one of our contiguous, touching, next-door neighbor states, then you must have a COVID test 3 days prior to returning to New York. You must then quarantine for 4 days after you arrive. On the fourth day, taking a COVID test. If you are negative, then you are released from quarantine. As a school district, we're going to require staff and students' families to give us those fourth-day tests before returning to the school building. We think it's a good precaution to help protect everybody from the spread of COVID. Somewhat related to that, I want to make it very clear, there are rumors of all kinds of variations going around our community, and actually throughout Nassau County and beyond Nassau County, that versions of those include Long Island superintendents or Nassau County superintendents have met with various state, county, or federal officials, and we are closing schools until you pick the date. Some people run it through the December break, some people run it through to January 1st. My latest one was right through to Martin Luther King's birthday, And I've even heard a rumor, but I think the person was joking, right through February break. So that is completely untrue, unless somebody forgot to invite me to the meeting, and any of the other superintendents that I've talked to got not invited. There has been no such meeting. We are not planning on closing. Discussions have happened about how to deal with people who travel. This quarantine kind of puts a new version of it, but there is no intention to close, thankfully. The rate of infections within our school district has been low, although there has been an uptick in our community and in the greater community, but we've seen no evidence of in-school transmission, and every day we're in school is a good day for children. So we don't intend to close, and I wanted to be very clear to dispel that rumor. That's my last new business. I do have an old business item.
Okay.
Yes, I'll do that at the very end.
Okay.
Old business. I'm going to ask Jill to give just a quick update on what's going on with the remote program, because this is the transition period for the end of the first trimester. So Jill, could you go for it?
Yeah. So we have about 124 of our Merrick students in the program K through 6. We have the 7 remote teachers, 1 for each grade level. We sent out a survey last week, Monday, and again this past Monday, yesterday, asking the remote parents their intentions for trimester 2, whether or not they're going to stay in the program or if they want to have their child go back into in-school. We've received about 60% response at this point, so I'm hoping to get 100% by Friday, which is the deadline. At this point, about 6 families have opted to go back in person, and the rest of them so far are staying in the program. So it appears at this point that most of our students will remain in the remote program for trimester 2, which trimester 2 ends mid-March. So this would take us through most of the winter, and we'll continue the program with that group.
Thank you for that.
Does anybody have any questions for Jill?
I just have one question. What's the approximate number now that we are fully all in?
So it's about 8% of our student population's in the remote program. It's about 124 students K to 6.
Okay.
Not including any students that are quarantining in their program for short term. Those are students that are full in.
Thank you.
And we're just shy 1,300 students in district. This is, okay. All right, as the last item, I, with sadness, want to announce that our business official, Jennifer Buscemi, that's why you need a microphone underneath these things. This is her last board meeting with us. Unfortunately for us, Sag Harbor, where she came to us from, made her an offer she couldn't refuse, and she is returning to Sag Harbor. So this is our last meeting with her. I'd personally like to thank Jennifer for the incredible work that she's done over her time here, and I wish her well in Sag Harbor.
And the board echoes those comments. Jennifer, we'll miss you, and, we only wish you the very best, so thank you.
I will miss everyone here. Thank you so much.
Do you want to announce who,
Wait, just want to say
filling in?
something. Yeah. Jennifer, you can't see me, but thank you for everything. It's been a pleasure working with you over the years. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We are in the process of actively looking for a replacement business official. On this agenda tonight, you'll see an item that Sydney Freifeld, who was the business official here in memory years ago, will come back to help us out as interim during the process of hiring and fully integrating a new business official. So Sydney is going to start on Thursday, and she'll overlap with Jennifer to kind of pull it all together.
Okay, thank you. All right, motion to adjourn into executive session.
For a
Matter of
individual
personnel.
personnel matter.
Motion.
All in favor? Okay. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
night.
All right, so, Brendan's gonna shut down the video,